All right, everybody. Hopefully this is gonna work. There we are. So, we're kicking off this one. It's not my birthday yet. Birthday's in 2 days, but it's pretty close. And yeah, I received some more stuff, which is always fun. So we're gonna kick off in style. Good evening to you as well. Because I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Just have a little bit of liquid luck. Yes, for once, it's not water. All right, let me set that there. Cheers. So, I think we're gonna get into, Hufflepuff from Maryland. Very nice. Happy almost birthday. I'll take it. I did see it's earlier. It is somebody in the chat's actual birthday, so happy birthday to that person. We're drinking together. Oh, that's nice, Sophie. I appreciate that. Australia, boy, all over the place. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of kick things off right off the bat because I got a whole bunch of assumptions from people. Most of them came in on the community post on the YouTube channel. I've got some in from Twitter as well. There's one other thing I'm going to mention before, and I'll have a reminder a little bit later in the week, but I know I'm shameless, but my book, Skirting Gender, is actually going to, I was going to say it's going to go on sale. It's actually, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's going to be free from the 21st, which is my birthday, which is the reason I'm doing it, through the 26th. It's 5 days that this will actually be free on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. So, if you have not checked the book out, if you have any interest at all, I would encourage you to do so. Maybe give it a review if you have read it. Okay, enough of my self-promotion. Moving on from that. I'm drinking cider, almost finished. So get another cider. Man, come on. Is it cold where you live? Not sure if that's to me or someone in the chat. I live in Vermont, so right now it's in that weird wavering point because like in the morning it'll be like 10 degrees, but then during the day it'll get up close to 40. So like it starts to melt during the day, but then it freezes at night, and it's spring. Well, almost spring. Anyway, so some of the assumptions that folks sent in, and I'll start addressing them, and I'll pause, and I'll try and keep one eye on the chat. And I also got other stuff that people sent me for my birthday that I'll probably bring up as we go along. But let's do this. So first one I've got up here: you get really swept up when reading bedtime stories to your kid and do all the voices. Yeah, that one's super accurate. That's actually, I've really been enjoying, she's gotten into the Bunnicula books. If you ever read those are great for being super over dramatic about, because they're deliberately written to be over the top. So yeah, I definitely do that. Sees the buffering. Oh dear. People, just testing. I had to reload. All right, sounds like some people got to reload, but yeah, stick with me if you can. And I'm keeping an eye on it. From my end, it's looking like it's still working. Oh, Doctor Who guide, hey there. Next one up, what did I have? You were one of the weird theater kids in high school. Yeah. I've got no counter, no caveat, no asterisk to put on that. Like, yeah, yeah, it was. Not only in high school, that continued for. I would actually argue that I'm still a weird theater kid. I assume you have a hat collection, but you only wear the one for branding purposes. I'm not sure it's enough to call it a collection, but I say that as I glance over and see the 5 that are up there, and I can see the 2 that are in my closet because the closet door is open. So, like, I don't know how many you have to qualify it as a collection, but yeah, I do have more than just the one hat. But yeah, it is kind of a branding thing at this point. Um, yeah, nothing better than a good refresh. Oh, good, it's working. Is there any Doctor Who creepypastas? I hope not. Creepypasta's not really my thing. You want every sonic screwdriver? I have every sonic screwdriver. So I already did that one. Next up for an assumption, you're into musicals. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a complete nut on them, but yeah, no, I enjoy a good musical. Um, I assume you're a good parent. God, I hope so. I'll probably find out in about oh, probably about 12, 13 years or so when she's old enough to feel emboldened to tell me to my face how much I screwed her up and like have put some thought into it. So we'll see. That you like cats. I'm assuming they mean the animal as opposed to the terrible Broadway musical. I do like cats. I ultimately, and I think this came up in other questions as well. So I'll try and avoid repeaters. I am a little bit more of a dog person than a cat person, but I do like cats. I've had cats. Are you a fan of John Locke? I mean, I'm not a shipper, so I mean, indifferent. Doctor Who and the Pirates is based on a musical. Part 3 mostly. Yeah, like a bunch of people have been mentioning that lately. The Doctor Who and the Pirates. I need to look into that. Whatever's going on there. What are your oh dear. Okay. I was debating whether or not to bring this up, but somebody just asked in the chat. What are your thoughts on the Toy Story 4 trailer? I'm not going to devote a video to this, but I hate it. Like every second of it, I hate it. Like I'm Toy Story isn't as much a part of my childhood as it seems to be for a lot of people my age who are just like going, oh, and it touches them in their heart. And I'm not trying to take that away from anybody, but because it doesn't hit my inner child as hard, I look at this and go, there is nothing here that the series hasn't already done before. So you're going to continue after a really excellent closure to the story and just revisit the same crap. And I mentioned this on Twitter, so anyone who follows me on there might have already heard it. But Bo Peep, most of the stuff that she's saying is the same stuff the villains of the last 2 movies were saying. So right now I'm giving even odds on Bo Peep being the secret surprise villain of Toy Story 4. And I don't know how strongly I believe that, but I want it on record, so if it happens, I can say I freaking called it. Yeah, moving on from that. What pronouns do you use? Whatever makes sense in your head. That's a short answer. All right, what else we got? Your favorite of the Queer Eye cast is Bobby. I have not seen the new Queer Eye. So, no, but not because someone else is my favorite, but because, I don't know. You're smart and funny. I'm not going to respond to that because that's for you guys to decide. Love sci-fi and wouldn't always be particularly predictable. I actually think that I'm not all that unpredictable. I'm just kind of protective of like the information you need to be able to predict me, if that makes sense. Like people who know me well, like my partner Liz, for example, my daughter's mother, some of my really close friends, they've got my number completely. Like they can predict me, like nobody's business. But it's because like they know enough about me and I've kind of opened up enough to them that they know all the variables. So I'm probably unpredictable to a lot of people from the outside looking in, though. Doctor Who, Love and Monsters is secretly a guilty pleasure of yours. No! No! Just no. So, oh God, when's the next 90s Comics retrial? I don't know. I don't even know what issue I'm going to do next. So probably not for a little while. You work in a computer science or computer graphics based field. Nope. I do not. I don't talk about my job, and I'm not going to here because it's uninteresting and it's the kind of details that I do like to prefer to keep to myself. But no. And actually, like, computer software hates me. I've said in the past, technology hates me. It is really specifically software because straight mechanical, that doesn't screw with me. Software hates me because it always fails in a way that's like it's never supposed to fail. Like I'll have something that go, oh, well, this is kind of hiccuping a little. I'll like try and Google it or whatever, and like nobody has ever heard of the problem I'm having. And that happens to me a lot. You like LARPing. I haven't LARPed in a long time, but back in the day, I used to do Vampire the Masquerade as a LARP. And if you don't know what any of those words mean, that's probably better for my image. And I'm kind of counting on the fact that anyone who does know what those words that just came out of my mouth mean, that they're just as huge dorks as I am, so they can't judge me. Who's your favorite Buffy villain? That one I'm not going to answer because eventually I'm going to do a villain countdown with Liz, and I don't want to give it away. Let's see. You were the one kid who got way too into character while reading a novel in literature class. Yes and no. I was, but there wasn't just one. There were like 5 of us. But I was that. You have often had to turn on geeky TV shows you love because your kid has started getting bored or restless. No, because I did a video on this. My kid does not share my geeky fandom. So if she's bored, I can't put on something I like to occupy her. Have you seen there's a Vampire the Masquerade makeup line? No, I have not seen that, but I'm now immediately curious. Any opinion on Love, Simon? No, because I haven't seen it. You are not critical in real life and use videos to get your aggravation cynical side out. Not true. That thing that I do of zeroing in on either what the problems are or what the problems might be in the case of something like a trailer or something that's not even out yet, I do that in life. That's actually just kind of a thing that I do, and I wish I could turn off, but I kind of can't. So, what can you do? You are human. Yes. You have good manners most of the time. I try to. I'm not sure how consistent I am on that, but I try to. You'd rock being part of an improv group. I'm not as great at improv as you might think, although I haven't done it in a long time. Then again, like I say that, but part of it might be that like I was friends with people who were way better at it than I was. So, see the GameCube at the back. Do you game at all? Not much these days. I don't have time. I don't do anything current gen. Do you have training for the weapons on your wall? No. No, I don't. I've got a bow staff off in the corner over there. That I actually know how to use. Nothing up here do I have a clue how to use properly. That you're super understanding. Again, I try to be. I, again, don't know how often I nail that. This one I found interesting because actually I tend to think this is an assumption a lot of people probably do make. So I kind of like that this one got brought up. You're an atheist. Actually, I'm not. I can't like just stick a label on things. I wasn't raised as anything. I don't go to church. I don't practice or take stock in any formalized religion, but I'm not an atheist. I actually do believe in God. I have zero concept of the nature and, wants or desires or guiding principles of God, but I do still believe. So I guess I think of it as kind of a spiritual agnosticism. You love Ren fairs. Yes, I do. Super accurate. Favorite Ninja Turtle, Raphael. Raphael has always been my dude. You are pansexual but mostly interested in women. Like I would switch that out for mostly to like borderline exclusively, but yeah, actually that's accurate. You think you have way too many steampunk novels and yet feel like you don't have enough. I've actually never read a steampunk novel. Like I like steampunk as an aesthetic, as a look. But so like I like the fashion, I like the outfits. I've never read a steampunk book though. So just a generic theist. Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Least favorite companion, Clara. Well, I mean, it depends if we're talking Modern Who. Modern Who, yes, but if they don't get Yaz to have a point soon, Clara might have somebody taking that title. Who's this Jenny Gender sort of stealing your shtick? I'm not sure if that's a joke or not. I don't know. Let's see, what else have I got? You thought Let's Kill Hitler was a mediocre episode. I mean, I haven't gotten to it yet on the revisit. I've got a little ways to go before I get there, but my memory of Let's Kill Hitler was I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, we'll see if it stays that way. Will you ever read Scratchman? I don't know. I mean, I would like to say yes, but like, there's so much I want to do and see and read, and like I just don't know. Okay, so more assumptions. It's a cat person, dog person thing. I kind of addressed that. After 20 months of being subscribed to you, I don't think I've heard you sing until that one previous video. That being said, I assume you're great when it comes to videoke night. Actually, like I have a pretty not high opinion of my own singing ability, but it's a little bit like what I said with my ability to do improv, which is that I'm friends with people who are legitimately great at it. Like one of my really close friends is a choir director, so like music and singing is part of her job, and I've got friends in bands, and I've got a coworker who's a musician on the side, and like they're all good. They're not like, oh, garage, but no, they're actually good. So my notion of how good of a singer I am is probably lower than the reality, but I'm certainly not cocky about it. Managed to catch another stream. Nice to see you there, Ace. Even though you already viewed series 8, 9, 10, would you eventually revisit after a few years and do a series overview? I don't know, because like by about I think next year, I will have caught up to where I started doing video reviews for Doctor Who. And then the question is whether I replace the overdue Doctor Who reviews with like take 2 Doctor Who reviews and basically do second videos, because it'll have been a few years since that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, and I've got like a year plus to decide whether or not I'm going to do that. So we shall see. Doctor Who is your favorite fandom? Yeah, you got that one. You are very humble. No, I am not. I try not to be a jerk, but like I've got an ego. I've got a pretty substantial ego. I'm gonna jump over to Twitter and see what I can pull from there. You believe anything worth doing is worth overdoing? Selectively. Like performance, I'll overdo it, to heck. But there's a lot in my life that I'm just kind of like, this is worth doing, but I also need to just get some version of it done and move on. So like sort of. Oh God. Okay, this one's from Twitter. I I assume that X-Men's Executioner song is your favorite comic story of all time, and since you covered it already, you don't bother podcasting about any other comic stories because everything else pales in quality to that masterpiece. Kyle, I hate you. All right, anyone who hasn't listened to the 90s Comics Retrial podcast backlog, which I assume is most people, wouldn't know this, but covering Executioner song is the reason I stopped doing that podcast, because it broke me. It was, oh God, it hurt a lot. And Kyle knew that. Let's see, what else? You haven't watched all of Classic Who, but you know a ton about it due to intensive research. No, I know a fair amount about it due to casual research. So, like, I've been following Doctor Who and, like, bringing up a Wikipedia or a fan whatever sporadically enough that, yeah, I've caught on to a fair amount of stuff that that's from stories I haven't seen, but it's not intensive research. Thank you for watching. Anyone watch the recent release of Shada? I have not gotten to that one yet. We'll see. Oh, love the new profile of photo on Twitter. Yeah, I did swap out the avatar on Twitter recently. I figured, like, nice for a change of pace on one platform. You sing a lot when you are by yourself. Actually, no. I dance a lot when I'm by myself. I assume you're an extrovert. Kind of. Not across the board. The thing is, like, I can be if I'm in an environment where, like, I'm comfortable. So, like, if I'm going somewhere where, like, I've been there before and I know who's going to be there, or at least I know that the people who are going to be there, you know, will be happy to see me. So, like, a performance venue is a good example. Yeah, I can be quite extroverted. But, like, I get really uncomfortable whenever I have to go to some place that I've never been to before, and or it's going to be populated largely by people I don't know. I can get a little bit sort of off in the corner in those situations. So I don't go into a shell often, but it does happen from time to time. This is a question, not an assumption. Do you think Doctor Who works better being dark, serious, emotional, or funny? It needs to do all those things. That is the beauty of Doctor Who. If it ever started doing only one of those things all the time, it would not be the show that it is. So most of my favorite episodes are on the more serious end, but no, it needs all of them. You like Christmas? Yes. I don't like how early they start playing Christmas music on the radio, but yes, I do like the holiday itself. You prefer New Who to Classic Who. That's still true. Even though at this point on paper, I think there is more to like for my taste in Classic Who than New. It's still, you know, it's still cheesy production values, and there's only so much I can get over that. I think that's why I like Big Finish so much, because most of my favorite Big Finish is a little bit more reminiscent of Classic Who than it is of New Who, but I'm not burdened with terrible production value because I don't have to see it. So, you can play piano. I can't play anything. So, that's a big swing and a miss. You don't really like cake. No, I do. I likes cake. I assume you are accepting of conservative ideology, but surround yourself with those who aren't. Sort of. The only thing that I'll contend with is that the wording on that makes it seem like it's by design that I'm largely surrounded by more liberally minded people, but that's just more like the people who I have met through the interests that I have been that. So yes, I try to be accepting. Most of my friends are liberal. Again, not by intent, but it has happened that way. that you're non-binary or genderqueer. I mean, I usually go with gender fluid because most people, when they say non-binary or genderqueer, they like have a fixed sense of gender. It's just not on either ends of the binary male-female spectrum. Whereas I use gender fluid because like I'm all over the place, day to day. Dr. Frankenfurter is your favorite character from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I actually think Riff Raff might be my favorite. Frank's right up there, though. How often do you do unboxing videos? I really don't. Like, I've only done them, I think, twice. Once as a Patreon video, and then once, I think, for the holidays here. It's just, if I'd had more restraint about, you know, the stuff that has been showing up related to my birthday, I would have done an unboxing video around that stuff, but I'm impatient, can't wait, and I want to see it now, and I'm too lazy to cut together footage of me opening up on, like, all these different days. So, maybe next year I'll think about it. Let's see. You go to hairdressers only like twice a year to lighten your roots. No, I go to hairdressers at least once a month to clean this up. And then, you know, I'm long overdue to get a recolor, but I haven't had the time. You've never had the chance to eat a durian. No, and because of what I know about what durians taste like, I don't have any plans to find myself in a situation where I might eat a durian. I watch, or I used to watch Food Network often enough that durians would come up in like competition shows, and I'm like, ooga. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically a fruit that smells and tastes like wet garbage. Let's see. Raptors scare the crap out of you. No, actually they don't. Like, even when I was a kid, the raptors never scared me. I always just thought that they were cool. Let's see. You know, okay, we're nearing the halfway mark, so I'm actually gonna pause. And since like it's not quite an unboxing, but some of the other stuff that has arrived since the last live stream in related to my birthday, or at least was being sent to me under that guise. Well, one of these is something that actually came earlier. I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention it last time. But today, Into the Spider-Verse arrived, which this makes me so happy. I'm really excited to watch this again because this has been one of those movies that the more I've thought about it since having seen it, the more I like it. So I'm really excited to actually sit down and watch it again. Let's see. First volume of Saga, which I actually have read once before, but I needed a hard copy for two reasons. One, I'd like to read it again. And two, I want to cover this on the podcast with Liz. So that I needed. Got a few things here. I got a book that was one I had not heard of before called Little Big. And I tell you, though, I am intrigued reading the description on it. So I'm going to be curious about that one. I got a notebook, a fairy notebook, which makes me quite happy. That'll get filled eventually. And markers. Because, yes, I had markers on my wish list because I sometimes unwind by coloring. I've got a Doctor Who coloring book and a Harry Potter and like a fairies one. I quite enjoy those. Hi, I'm new to your channel. I hope you enjoy the channel. I'm sorry, I shouldn't pick on people for typos. Like, I'll probably end up stumbling over my words at some point. It's as karma for that. Do you watch any sports? No. I don't. I never have. Okay, back to some assumptions. That since a snippet of you came up in a fan video that you are part of some YouTube Elite Society for Doctor Who. Um, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not. And actually, that little clip that showed up in the, I guess it was in a BBC America bumper, that I hadn't given permission for that yet. Like, they'd asked, and I was getting more details on exactly what I would be signing off on the rights to. But I hadn't answered when that bumper showed that I appeared on. So that I had some words with them over that. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not gonna sue anybody. And when I said, I haven't said yes yet, they then stopped showing that bumper. But that was an odd experience. I was super flattered that they reached out to me and asked, but you know, a little bit yet less that they didn't wait for an answer. You're excited for the Disney Fox deal to be done. I don't know if excited is the right word. I'm glad it's done. I'm tired of seeing speculation on it. It'd be nice to see what's actually going to happen. What do we got here? I'm going to go back to the ones on the YouTube. I'm probably not going to get to all of these. So if anyone gave me an assumption that I don't get to, I'm very sorry for that. Oh, boy. I was going to wait and do this one later, but now it has come up in my field. And, okay, yeah, I'm going to deal with this one. So, the assumption is you've yet to realize that gender dysphoria can't be a diagnosable neurological condition if gender is, quote, a social construct. Now, I'm going to try and address this one without spending too much time on it, and also as politely as I can. Firstly, I've never claimed to have gender dysphoria. I'm not diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and actually, if you hunt around my stuff enough, you might have picked up on the fact that I don't have dysphoria. I've said that flat out. My sense of gender wavering is not, it's a positive and not a negative. And what I mean by that is if I'm in a more masculine frame of mind and I start going more feminine, it's because I'm feeling a pull towards the feminine, not a rejection or push away from the masculine. So my gender fluctuations are not due to dysphoria. That said, I am still going to address this comment more directly because I could dismiss it out of hand on that alone, and I don't want to. So to address your argument that you can't have gender dysphoria as something diagnosable while still claiming that gender is a social construct, why the hell not? I mean, do you also claim that if somebody has been medically diagnosed with depression, that they can't say that they've had a particularly hard mental health day because of something that was on the news? I mean, one's social, one's medical. They can't claim both. Yes, they can. Here's a crazy idea. The society in which we live affects us. The society that we live in, constructs included, have an impact on our mental health. So having a diagnosis of dysphoria and the concepts of gender and what it means in a societal understanding of what is masculine, what is feminine, being mostly arbitrary, are not exclusionary concepts. They can both exist at the same time. So please stop trying to logic trap away people's identities, lives, and things that they are trying to cope with in order to simply exist in the world, you ass. Moving on. All right. Did you like Rowling saying that Grindelwald and Dumbledore had a relationship that was physical? I don't care what she says anymore. If it doesn't actually show up in the films, I am gonna lose it. I don't care anymore what she says about anything that is extra to the text. If it's not in the text, then it's not real, as far as I am concerned. Let's try and get let's try and light things back up again. They got serious there. Okay. Whew. Assumptions. You've read a lot of comics. Actually, not nearly as many as you'd think. Like I've only got one long box of comics. You can actually, it's buried under this stuff over here. Like I haven't read that many individual issues. Partly because I'm more of a trades person at this point, but also partly just because I can't keep up. So it's actually kind of funny. It's a bit similar to what I said about classic Doctor Who. I know a fair amount about what is going on in comics, but I don't read a ton of them because I do kind of keep an eye on it and what's going on. But I have not read nearly as many as you would think. One long box, you lightweight. Yeah, no, case in point. As a kid, you had a Lego set. I did. Very small one. I had a space Lego set. I never had extensive Lego stuff. Just wanted to share with the rest of your fans that Disney indirectly created the hamster dance. Oh, yeah, because the tune is from the Disney Robin Hood. Yeah. Yep, I did know that. My assumption is that you don't like violent macho stories like Conan or Mad Max. Actually, I don't mind them. They can be bad, just like any kind of story can be bad, but I don't automatically dislike them. I actually love Mad Max Fury Road. The original Conan was okay. I'm not sure how well it's aged, but those are the kinds of stories that like I often want to like because I love the adventure of them. I love the thrill of them. Sadly, they are often steeped in not great stuff. So that is unfortunate, but it's not an inherent dislike of those stories by their nature. My assumption is that you dislike award shows. Yeah. The only one I watch is the Oscars, and that's only because I go to an Oscar party for the food. And also I won the Oscar pool this year. So that was cool. Let's see. You don't take naps very often. I don't remember the last time I took a nap. I think it was probably because I was sick. That you would love to visit the UK more often. Yes. Accurate. I would adore getting to the UK again. Oh, man. I haven't been there in a very long time. So, just deal with that. Sorry, there were some comments showing up that was like, yeah, do you want this to show or you want us to hide it? I'm like, no, you can hide that. Okay, this one was interesting. And anyone, like, I debated covering this one, but yeah, I've just anyone who's been to my other channel, been over to the Vera Wild channel would already know this, but I'll deal with it here. So the assumption is, I assume I assume you are growing breasts. So kind of, but not on purpose. So hang on. It's probably not that noticeable in the regular videos because most of usually it cuts off there. So like there is a little bit of shape going on there at this point. So I am on hormone adjusting meds. I'm not on estrogen, but I am on anti-androgens, which is the testosterone blocker. I don't want to dwell on this too long, but the idea that and this is prescribed. This is not something I'm doing on my own. This is under the supervision of my doctor, of my primary care physician. So the idea with lowering my testosterone levels is to sort of bring my default setting something closer to the middle. So like if male is here and female is here, with the testosterone, my default was like kind of over here in this range, whereas bringing my testosterone level down puts my default starting place here, so it makes it no more of an effort on my part to get to a more feminine place versus a more masculine, as opposed to before, sort of getting into a better place with my feminine side was more work because I was at a masculine default. Now, you don't normally, well, I don't know, you don't always get any breast development on anti-androgens alone. Usually it's only within conjunction with estrogen. And this is minor. Like I've at this point, I've got an A cup, but it is solid. I do actually fill out an A cup at this point. So yes, I have kind of grown breasts, but it was a side effect that I knew was a possibility, but it was not a goal. It's just kind of what happened, and I don't mind it. Let's see. For a moment there, I thought that shirt was coming off. No, I don't need to get the channel shut down. You aren't actually on hormones. Your titty just did that. Nope. Nope. That did not happen on its own. Do you have any asexual friends? I do. I have a few asexual friends. I also have a few agender friends. I've got quite a few friends all over the place. Are you familiar with the 60s soap opera Dark Shadows? I am familiar with it. I have never watched it. Nope, not gonna touch that one. Do you find the Harley Quinn character problematic? She can be. Like most comic book characters, she's been reinterpreted enough times that some iterations are worse than others, but sometimes she can be, yeah. And the thing is, like, it's not just about what she does as a character, it also has to do with how that is treated. So, like, I don't think it's automatically a problem, the fact that she has this deep affection for somebody who is extremely abusive to her, i.e. the Joker. But where it becomes a problem, like that in and of itself, that's just a story element. Where that becomes a full-on problem is if whatever story that's being depicted in treats it as something that is funny or something that is romantic. That's where it becomes problematic. So like, honestly, some of the early depictions of Harley on the cartoon are problematic because it's played for humor. The Joker abuses her, and she loves him, and it's played for laughs. And that's more the problem than the idea that she's in love with her abuser. That in and of itself doesn't have to be a problem. It's all about how it's handled and how it's treated. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I did. I saw that it happened. Let me get back to that. Sorry, I missed a super chat. Oh, Spider-Man is your favorite MCU character. Yes, that is accurate. He had a leg up. Spider-Man is also my favorite superhero, period. So there was a pretty good chance that that he was going to be. But yeah, no, you got that. I assume you aren't a fan of PewDiePie. I have no opinion on PewDiePie. I know a bit about him because it's hard to avoid. I've never watched him. I have no opinion. Zero. Let's see. Let me get back to some of these. Your favorite color changes often. Actually, my favorite color has stayed the same since I was 5. It's dark green, for the record. You'll try anything at least once? Almost. You have a generally supportive family. I have an incredibly supportive family. So, yeah. Assume that you like rainbows. Who doesn't like rainbows? Come on now. That your allergy to research is more due to constraints than laziness. No, no. Even if I had all the time and no constraints, I still wouldn't really enjoy doing research. When you love something or someone, you love them with all the passion you have. Aw, I try to. I don't really know how to answer. That's one of those things that's like, that's more for them to answer than me, I feel like. You have a favorite everything. I probably, but also not off the top of my head. I have a feeling that my answer to your favorite bleh, depending on what it is, you'll get a different answer. Do you go to Pride? I do. I go to Vermont Pride every year, but Vermont Pride is in September, so I haven't been to a Pride event during Pride Month. God, not since I lived in Brooklyn. Holy crap! So, like 12 years ago, maybe. Whew. Assumption: you were positively surprised by Brie Larson's performance. I was positive on her performance. I wasn't that surprised because I didn't think it looked bad. Assumption: your favorite X-Men is Nightcrawler. Here's the thing. My favorite X-Men character is sometimes on the team, is sometimes a villain, so I don't know whether I can count them or not. And that's Mystique. So if I'm not allowed to count Mystique as an X-Men member, which she has kind of been at a couple of points, then yes. Assumption: you don't like cheese. How dare you? Oh, I live in Vermont, home of Cabot cheddar. I love cheese. Assumption: you hate it when people dwell more on what creators actors say than the actual piece of art in question. Holy crap, do I ever? Oh, jeez. You love Ellen Page because, I mean, who doesn't? I like Ellen Page. I don't know if I love Ellen Page. And yes, I am watching Umbrella Academy. I'm halfway through it. I'm trying to finish through that. Assumption: you have an opinion for everything. Yeah. I mean, unless I feel like that, like I literally have no business having an opinion. Like the reason I said I have no opinion on PewDiePie is I have no business having an opinion on PewDiePie. As a Wisconsinite, I'm personally offended. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. We have better cheese. Deal with it. I assume you were one of the most popular nerds at whatever smallish college in the middle of the woods you went to. Wrong on both counts. I went to UVM, University of Vermont, which, I mean, you might think, oh, it was Vermont. Actually, UVM's a pretty sizable school. And no, I was not especially popular. My college experience was not great. Mostly due to my own fault. So, white chocolate, actual chocolate. No, white chocolate is not actual chocolate, but it is awesome. Assumption: you prefer wine to beer. Yes. Oh, God. God, yes. Hashtag cheese war. You laugh at the idea of going to the club. No, I get tired at the idea of going to the club. Did you watch any of Titans once it was out? I have a review of Titans going up on Friday, so stay tuned. The fact is, we're literally the Dairy State. Don't fight me, please. Look, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. I'll let it go. What is your favorite Classic Who episode? City of Death. You play D&D and you're the DM. I do play D&D sometimes. I'm not a DM. Like, I would suck as a DM. It'd be awful. You prefer champagne to wine because it's the festive version of wine. Actually, not automatically. Depends on the wine. Super excited to see your review. I hope so. It took a long time to put together. So, like, The Titans review is like weirdly ambitious by my standards. So we'll see how that goes. Let me see how many more of these I can cram in the time we've got left. That you are always dissecting and reviewing problems with something. Yep. Yes, I am. You have siblings. Yes and no. I have a half sister, but we didn't grow up together. So, like, I technically do have a sibling, but I'm effectively an only child. I was raised as an only child. So, depends on how you want to parse that. Your enjoyment of movies is often hindered by a need to analyze the messages it sends. Not really. I'm usually able to enjoy things on a surface level, and then analyzing messages usually just reinforces whatever opinion I already have. It's pretty rare that analyzing the messages of something actually changes my opinion of the work, either for good or for ill, because there's bad stuff with good messaging and there's good stuff with bad messaging. Assumption, you can get lost in a spiral of analyzing things even though you should probably let it go and get some sleep. Yeah. You like Tolkien. I like The Hobbit. Tolkien's writing, when he wasn't deliberately writing for children, is very dry. I had a hard time reading Lord of the Rings. Let's see. There was one that I saw that... Oh, assumption. You dressed goth or emo in high school. I probably would have if I hadn't gone to a school with a dress code. Assumption, you don't watch comedy shows like The Office or Parks and Rec. I don't watch those ones specifically. I do watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which has some of the people who did Parks and Recs involved. So I'm not completely opposed to that kind of comedy, but I'm not, well, I flat out don't like The Office, and Parks and Rec I don't mind, but I don't love. Lonely Island is the best thing ever. True? No, Weird Al is the best thing ever. Lonely Island's pretty good, though. You use they, them pronouns. I like I said, with pronouns, I tell people just to go with whatever makes sense to them. I just don't get hung up anymore. I assume you're not that into JRPGs. I mean, I can't say these days because I haven't played anything more current than a PS3 generation game. But I used to really love JRPGs. I mean, my favorite video game of all time is Final Fantasy VI. I love Chrono Trigger. Love Secret of Mana. I liked Breath of Fire. You know. So 16-bit era JRPGs, I liked quite a bit. You don't like The Office? No, I don't. I don't like cringe humor. I just, it makes me uncomfortable to watch. And it's cringy humor. And I'm not judging it. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a style of humor that I do not enjoy watching. Cthulhu is the DM of your nightmares. No, I have pretty mundane... I've got a test and I didn't study nightmares. Not as inventive as one might think. Assumption. Have you seen any of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Yes. Liz and I watched that. We've only gotten through the first season because it's something we watch sporadically. But actually, okay, random, like total non sequitur. Just to, I was going to say humble brag. It ain't humble. I was at, Rachel Bloom. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think that's her name. Who's the star and writes the song. Basically, who created Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I was in a movie with her back in New York. That never got released and nobody involved got paid for. But I actually was in a scene with her. I have an IMDb credit for that. I was the maitre d' in a restaurant scene. So I actually got to do a scene with her, and that like this was before she was. This was even before her Ray Bradbury song. So this is going way back. It was funny too because I saw an interview she did not that long, like sometime last year. She had a movie come out that I guess her husband directed. And the interviewer said, "So this is your first movie?" And she said, "No, actually, I was in this little indie thing in New York, but it never got released and we weren't paid, so I don't count it." I was like, "Hey, I was in that." So that was, I got a kick out of that. Assumption, Gravity Falls has been on your to-do list for years and you've yet to see it. Yes. Assumption, you can't help but search and identify as many tropes as you can every time you watch something. No, actually, while I zero in on like what did or didn't work, I'm not like a let's parse everything out into its component parts thing. Have you seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I tried it. It didn't work for me. You're somewhat introverted but not excessively shy. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I talked about that a little bit ago. Sorry, I'm kind of blazing through these. I did want to try and get through as many as I could. I assume you don't have a garden yourself, but still like seeing flowers in the park. I actually do have a garden. I'm not, like, I don't always enjoy taking care of it, but I actually do have a garden. You live fairly near your mom due to your great relationship. That is accurate. That is very accurate. You enjoy dumb horror movies. Not so much. Like, I don't really subscribe to the so bad it's good thing for the most part. That's pretty rare for me. You hate ice cream. What? Like, unless you've got a lactose intolerance, why would anyone hate ice cream? I mean, I'm sure somebody does. I'm sorry if I offended you, but yeah, no. You have a fabulous taste in glasses. Well, I mean, you tell me. I don't know what that was. All right. We're winding down for time. Let's see. Assumption, your favorite Lord of the Rings character is Sam. Let me ponder that. Let me see here. Favorite Lord of the Rings, Sam. Yes. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Have you ever had the chance to meet famous LGBT people? Like, say, your Ellens and some such? No. There's very few famous people that I have run into. The Rachel Bloom is kind of the best story that I've got. I have crossed paths with Dennis Leary as he was going into the New Hampshire State Liquor Store, which was cool. I wasn't sure it was him until I heard him speak. He said something to his wife asking what he wanted him to grab for her. And I almost literally bumped into Billy Connolly when I was living in New York. So, but that's about it. And obviously those aren't LGBTQ plus style celebrities. No water this time. I've got water too, but this demonstrably is not water. You didn't realize that I changed my channel name a while ago, but I used to be Ari Rabinowitz. You're right. I probably didn't notice. I think largely because I'm pretty sure you're the only Ari that like comes to the chats or shows up in comments or whatnot. So I'm pretty sure I was just zeroing in on only that. What hero would you call to move your couch? Superman. I mean, why would you call anybody else? All right, there were a few more on Twitter. Okay. I hope this one doesn't cost me the sponsorship, because this one, this was an assumption. Again, a bit like the Executioner song one was a very targeted one. And this one came from Radio versus the Martians, currently sponsoring a video a week. What revelatory, tragic backstory has contributed to your visceral dislike of Sal Buscema's comic art? His stuff is exciting and dynamic, and he draws the best punches in the business. Is there a way to make your heart grow 3 sizes for Sal? No! Like, okay, I don't know what it is with comic book readers my age and older, why they... Okay, if you don't know who Sal Buscema is, this is his stuff. And I know it looks okay from a distance, but like, really look at these faces. Because that's my thing with his stuff. I hate his faces. They are ugly as hell. And like, everyone that I know that likes Sal Buscema, they praise the heck out of his punches, the Buscema punch. And like, the guy can do dynamic action well enough, but I don't care. I'm always distracted by how ugly the faces are. I'm sorry. Like, I can even see a comparison to some artists I like. Like, I like John Romita Jr. I didn't used to like him. He grew on me. But, and like, I remember thinking, well, Romita grew on me. Will Buscema? And then I went back and looked at some and went, no, that's still butt ugly. I hate it. Oh. People starting to sign off. Bye. Congrats on winning the Listener of the Year from Professor Allen. I'm insanely jealous, as you should be, Kent. That actually was a lot of fun. People who don't know, that's the Relatively Geeky podcast, which I feedback on a lot. Let's see. I always hated when Sal's issues came up in a crossover. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. See if I've got any more here. I assume you want to introduce your feminine appearance more to the channel. I don't think so. Just because I think going any more feminine than like just this is honestly a lot of work. That I'm just not in the mood to do. Are rotini your favorite pasta? I'm actually partial to ziti with lines. I mean, I like pasta in general, though. Your good looks are due to black magic. And somebody replied to that saying, no, it's TARDIS blue. Here's the thing. It depends on how you define black. And I am going to leave it at that. So it all just depends on how you choose to classify your magic. Let's see. I assume you're totally fabulous. Not always, but on occasion. Assumption, you like Breaking Bad, but you're not sure about Better Call Saul. I haven't watched Better Call Saul yet. So, you look younger than you are. I don't know. How? If you know, don't answer. But let's have some guesses. Birthday's in 2 days. If you're not someone who knows, because like I've probably mentioned at some point, guess. Let's see some guesses as to how old you think I look. So we'll see if I look younger than I am. Beards, yay or nay? Beards, nay for me. They can work for other people. Let's see what we've got. 35, 33, 32, 30, 36, 32. All right, so it's not 28. Oh, damn. Okay, I'll take that. 42. I'm not mad at you because I love the reference. The fun part is okay, only one, setting aside the 32, and now a 79, which is, somebody being facetious, I hope. The highest guess is actually what I'm turning, which is 37. A lot of these were a couple years under, a lot of 32s, so yeah. 37 I will be in 2 days. I've gone over how long I intended. I think I've only got like one of these left to do. Hang on. I'll get there. Do you read Star Trek books? I have not. 666. I assume you are fun to hang out with, but as a fan, I don't know how that would work without some stalking and self-insertion into your daily life. Well, that escalated quickly. I don't know what to say to that, but I kind of love it. Have you seen Star Trek Discovery? I have not. I want to, but I have not. We want you. Guess what? We want you to go over an hour. I appreciate that. Like I don't do the hour cutoff as like a hard. People are done listening to me. It's more just like, you know, trying to keep myself on a plan on a schedule. Oh, you're atheist. No, this came up earlier. I am not. I'm turning 27 this year. Oh, you child. You sweet, sweet child. Have you watched Game of Thrones? I have, and I'll be doing episode by episode reviews once that starts airing again. I hope one of them isn't that you're a vegan or have some kind of nut allergy. Neither of those would be accurate. So that, I think that's all I had. Again, I might have missed one or two. Like there were some that were slightly repetitious from others that I did skip, and hopefully I didn't accidentally skip ones that I meant to answer. But I think that'll wrap it up. What religion are you? I'm not part of any organized religion. But like I do have a certain degree of faith. Agnostic's probably the best way to go, except I have a little bit of an idea, but like nothing formalized, and I wasn't raised as anything. But atheist means you don't believe in God, and that's not me. Let's see. The Orville is awesome. Your assumption you're going to end the live stream now. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time. I've gone a little over how long I usually do them, but we'll wrap it up there. Nathaniel, I can be your mom. Oh my God, I just realized. Well, I hope that's not too shattering for you as a possibility. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. So thank you everybody for tuning in. This was fun, and it was nice to do, especially considering I actually did devote videos to like most of the big stories that broke this week, being the new Avengers trailer and the James Gunn news. So it was nice to break it up with something else. That said, I may have bit myself in the butt because this is probably going to end up being a little bit redundant with the Q&A, that video that I'm going to be putting out actually on my birthday. Probably going to end up covering a lot of the same stuff again. But, not as many people watch the live streams as the video, so I suppose there's always that. Have a good night, all!